Who would have ever thought the combination of Ryan Gosling and a puppet creature that is supposed to be an alien made out of rocks named Rocky would be entertainment for a feature film? Okay, sure. Ryan Gosling in space. Alright, that sounds fun, but the fact that he interacts with a puppet that's an alien. I get that it's a book, but I mean, I don't know, man. This seems a little too far fetched. But hey, you got the Spider Verse guys involved, so here you go. Here's a bunch of money. Go film that space film. Sure, fine. Go ahead. I mean, we'll make anything into movies these days.
I'm Grace. I'm gonna call you Rocky. Thumbs up. No, that's thumbs down. You would do the thumbs up. It's close enough.
Project Hail Mary is directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller with a screenplay by Goddard. The film stars Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, Lionel, Boyce, Ken Long, and Milana Vayntrub. According to IMDb's plot synopsis, science teacher Raylan Grace wakes up alone on a spaceship light years from Earth. As his memory returns, he uncovers a mission to stop a mysterious substance killing the sun and save Earth. An unexpected friendship may be the key. The last time this directing duo, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, sure, yes, they are still making and doing stuff in the industry. Spider-Man fans are getting plenty of them with regards to the Spider-Verse movies as well as the Spider-Noir show that will be coming out very soon. But the last time this duo actually directed something, actually helming a project, was all the way back to 2014's 22 Jump Street, which of course is a sequel to their 2012's 21 Jump Street, which, yes, is based off of a TV show. They were supposed to direct Solo, a Star Wars story. As a Star Wars fan, I knew about this. I was really interested to see what they were going to do with it, but they were fired due to creative differences and only got executive producer credit with it. That's not saying much, with Ron Howard getting mostly the director credit. And it sucks. I wish they could have done something, because while I don't hate that movie, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's my favorite of the Disney Star Wars movies. Yeah, that's just me personally. This duo attempts to adapt Annie Weir's 2021 book of the same name. And for those who are familiar with that name, you know that this is coming from the same man who wrote The Martian, which director Ridley Scott adapted in 2015 with Matt Damon starring, which of course I really liked. I think it is a really great science fiction movie. If you haven't gotten a chance, I highly recommend it. It's easily one of Ridley Scott's better movies in recent years. With Lord and Miller, along with screenwriter Goddard and Ryan Gosling starring, is this a return for the directing duo? Could this be their comeback that they need to really prove to people that yes, they can handle a project, they could do it, they can make something that audiences can go to and actually watch and experience and love? My answer, personally, absolutely. I found this to be an enthralling, funny, and heartfelt film that was fascinating to watch throughout. I was just really captivated by what Lord and Miller were able to tap with this movie, because as much as I am a science fiction nerd, even I have to admit the genre can sometimes just play into the tropes that we're all known with this genre. Okay, I am guilty of that, I know it, but man, everything about this movie just hits so well from a comedic but also emotional standpoint that makes you really feel moved by it. Before giving my own critique, because yes, I have one issue only, here are my positives that I do have. The performances are stellar, even though I think the cast is great. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm mainly going to be just saying that Ryan Gosling is humorous but moving as science teacher Raylan Grace. Gosling knows how to be likable but be an everyday man very well. He is definitely the thing to watch for in this movie, okay? Him and, of course, the character of Rocky, who is just lovable and adorable. I love their relationship. Ryan Gosling, he's an actor who can just really tap into a character but make him just likable. In any sort of way, you just find something to latch onto with regards to Ryan Gosling. And this movie is no exception. The guy just knows how to kind of bring you along on a journey and see where he goes from point A to point B. And that to me is what really works about this movie, is the relationship between Ryland Grace and Rocky. And for as much as, yes, it is a puppet, Ryan Gosling knows how to work with that damn puppet, okay? He just knows how to make it work because you find the emotional connection with each other and the humor that these two characters have with one another as well. The direction is phenomenal. Directing duo Phil Lord and Christopher Miller have a cohesive but effective way of showcasing the empty but vibrant nature of space, making this incredible journey to just be on. Lord and Miller just have this way of tapping into the adventurous nature of it. That's what I think is so captivating about them, is that they just know how to get involved in a story that I think people can potentially like, but is how it is all displayed. And Lord and Miller just does that effortlessly. They are really good at showing you how empty space is and Ryland Grace's psyche, how he's taking this all in, especially when he wakes up from his coma, how he interacts with Rocky, the journey that they go on with each other to help their planets from dying with the sun and other stars being affected by a substance that is killing them. There is something here with how Lord and Miller were able to delve deep into this relationship that could have been so corny and so dumb, but yet somehow Lord and Miller made it so convincing and natural with how he goes about showcasing Grace's journey from beginning to end. The story was engaging. Following the science teacher tasked with finding a cure to help Earth was both emotional and funny. Also, having an alien help him was a fun add on to it. Just like how I mentioned with the direction and explaining the story here, yeah, having this science teacher be thrust into this life and death situation, a one-way trip into trying to save the planet. And you go back and forth between the past and the present, before he was in space and then what he's doing present in the journey that he's in. I found it to be very moving and hilarious too. That's the coolest thing about this movie, is that the comedy here works. And I know so many people will say that maybe it's too much, but for me personally, especially in these days, I can take levity, man. I will legit take something that can make me laugh and actually make me really invested in what's going on. And the emotion here can also be effective. And the duality that both Grace and Rocky find themselves in, trying to help each other and look out for one another, I think was just so loving and so adorable to watch that you just can't get enough of them. You just honestly watch them and you just fall in love throughout the course of the movie with where their relationship ends up. The writing is solid. Writer Drew Goddard crafts a script that feels consistent and balanced, allowing the heart and comedy to fit together very naturally. This could have been such a wonky, disjointed movie about a man trying to save his planet. But the fact that it's about a friendship of helping one another and getting through this tough situation that they're both in, it could have played off so stereotypical, goofy, and corny. And while, yes, there are moments where they do take it seriously, they also know when to have fun with it. Because for as much as it can get serious, and while the situation is dire, you kind of want to feel like there's some hope or resemblance of humanity in the whole situation to kind of help you feel that weight doesn't feel as big as it should be. I know that may turn off for some people, but for me personally, I really like the personal journey that Ryland Grace goes on, and yet the script here just works to make it to where it just doesn't feel forced. It just feels right for what this movie is, and Goddard was able to really tap into what the book is. In full disclosure, even though I've not read the book, I know people who have discussed about the book seem to really just that this movie does really do that very well. The cinematography is dazzling. Cinematographer Greg Fraser captures a gorgeous and atmospheric look of space, which makes it stunning, giving this sense of wonder and awe. Greg Fraser is a cinematographer that has a body of work that showcases his talent as a cinematographer, and this movie is no exception. The way he captures the emptiness of space, but also the beautiness of it, especially when they change from like infrared, it's incredible. It's beautiful. It's so gorgeous to look at. The way it is all captured just feels so awe-inspiring. But I also do feel like it kind of resembles Interstellar and 2001 A Space Odyssey, two movies that are so synonymous with science fiction and some of the most iconic films in science fiction history, yet somehow This movie pays, I feel like, tributes to both of those movies, but doesn't do it in a way where it's so noticeable. It just kind of feels like respecting with where the source material comes from, but also how this movie has to come off. And Greg Fraser was able to really just capture it all in just a way that is so breathtaking to watch. The music is grand. Composer Daniel Baburin makes a score that's operatic and haunting to hear, echoing of previous space films. The music in this movie is so damn good. It is so amazing. I never was expecting a score that was supposed to be very operatic in that way. Not at all. I was expecting kind of like generic science fiction music that can be really good, but I just wasn't expecting something that was so beautiful to listen to. It is so amazing to hear the voices from the singers as well as the instruments from the orchestra. There's just something about this movie in the way it plays its score that it feels so beautiful to listen to. And Daniel Baburin really understood with what this project was and how big it felt, and he succeeded in delivering on that. The effects are beautiful. Both the visuals and practical effects are amazing to see throughout, blending everything naturally. A lot of the visual effects in this movie are, once again, stunning. They are beautiful. They are just dazzling to watch. It's incredible on how much they really wanted to emphasize space travel, look appeal. There's just something about it that just really works. And yes, the practicality that they did with bringing Rocky to life, amazing, beautiful. Yes, there are touch ups where it is visual effects, but for the most part, is using a lot of practicality with Rocky and making it feel tangible and real so that Ryan Gosling has something to bounce off of. And it blends so seamless in this movie that you never notice it to the point of like it ruins or breaks your immersion. It actually enhances it even further. The production is effortless. Seeing the sets and crew work was nothing but dedication to bring in all the elements, showing what it took to bring this to life. I can't describe how much this movie taps into science fiction in a way that we all come to expect with this genre, but yet the effort here is nothing but hard work. It's incredible to see the amount of talent that really wanted to emphasize and prioritize the sets, especially the ship that Rylan is on, Hail Mary, and the way in which is all constructed, especially even designs of not just that ship, but also Rocky's ship, I think is really interesting and very unique compared to most other science fiction works that are out there. And yeah, Rocky's design is also interesting. He doesn't look like what most aliens kind of tend to do, which I'm not trying to shame, but I do appreciate it for standing out, I think, more so than other science fiction movies tried to do. And I think that is a testament to the effort that was put into this film. The editing is fluent as the film jumps back and forth between the past and the present. Cuts stay consistent throughout, making sure it stays focused. It never loses itself. It always knows where it is, how it is able to just go back and forth between the different periods that you see with Ryland's journey from how he is on Earth to where he's at in space. And it just felt natural in the way it comes off and never felt like it was starting to lose itself in that process. With everything here, there is only one aspect of this movie that has it still in space. It's still kind of lost up there. It's not to say that it's completely gone, but it is there and it's not on the ground yet. And to me, I think that is the one thing that is holding it back. So here is my only negative. The pacing runtime is lengthy. Once the film gets to the halfway mark, that runtime is felt. With a runtime of 2 hours and 36 minutes, it started to feel stretched out. And while I do think the story is magnificent and the writing here is good, I do ultimately think that it gets to a point where you really start to feel the runtime of this movie to where it starts to show it's starting to be a little bit slower. And to me, I wish this movie had been a little bit more faster paced because I do think that for as much as this movie wants to go into the depths of the emotion, comedy, I just do ultimately think the movie just kind of stalls itself a bit and kind of keeps on flowing and just never really comes back down to actually feel like it hits the landing. It kind of feels like it's off course and just kind of getting lost in it. And sure, that may be a positive for some, but for me personally, I just think that this movie does overstay its welcome by the end. Lord and Miller made an excellent comeback to directing. They managed to bring everything together here. While its length can be long, it doesn't stop audiences from falling in love with the journey. I'm happy to see Ryan Gosling still get a movie out and still show people that he can just be as charming and as kinetic as he always is. And to me, I always like seeing him still throw himself into a role and still try something. I mean, hell, I'm still excited to see what he does with Star Wars Starfighter. Yeah, man, good for him. And to Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, hey, welcome back to the directing gig. I'm going to give Project Hail Mary a 9 out of 10. This movie is amazing. It is definitely one of my favorites so far, even though it is the beginning of the year. I cannot lie to you all. It was such an amazing film. I had a fun time with it. You get a chance to see it, you won't be disappointed because, man, if for nothing else, just the things I highlighted here, I mean, come on. What else are you expecting more from this movie than you are kind of craving or right now at this very moment? If you still want a good science fiction movie, or you just want to see Ryan Gosling just be a very charismatic guy and just somebody that you love to watch, this movie does that. It really is. It is nothing but just Ryan Gosling just hanging out with a puppet. Like, seriously, what more can you ask for? So I will be soon doing a review for the Super Mario Bros. Movie before the newest one. So yes, look forward to that review and other reviews coming soon.